back to my channel. I am Nadine and I'm here to show you today how you are going to cast or bind off your project. So I have prepared a little piece here that I cast off. So I'm going to show you exactly how this looks and how you're going to make a really nice and neat edge on the top of your garment or of your piece that you are going to possibly then stitch together with another piece later on. If you're knitting a sweater, for example, you have seams right here, you're probably going to have a seam right here, so you're knitting different pieces, you're going to have to cast them off and then later on seam them together. Even if you don't have any of that happening in your project, you will have to, or you will come to a part where you're going to cast off your project when you complete, and that's what we're doing today. So let's dive in. I'm going to move you over here and show you how it's done. Let's get started. Again, as a recap, here is how we wrap our yarn around our left hand, and now we are ready to go. As you remember, I usually slip the first stitch so that we get this nice neat edge here. So I'm doing that now too. And then the next one, you go by your pattern. So in this case, we have a stockinette, which means this is all knit stitch on this side. If I had a, let's say a rib stitch, which is one knit, one purl, one knit, one purl, or maybe two knit, two purl, two knit, two purl, I would definitely knit in the pattern and then cast off. But in this case, the pattern is just knit stitch, so that's what we're doing. Knit one. Now, you have now 2 stitches on your right needle, and you are now going to insert your left needle into the furthest stitch, into the second one. Actually, it's the first one that you made, and then you're just going to pull it over the other stitch carefully, not to lose the stitch. Okay, so you already cast off 1 stitch. Now all you have to do is continue this until you are done with the entire row. Number 2. Okay, next up, knit 1 and grab the stitch, pull it over. So you want to make sure that it's not too tight, because these stitches otherwise will pull a little bit more tense together and it makes your cast off edge a little curved. You don't want to do that. All right, next one, over, and now you can see right here your nice cast off stitches, and that is looking just like the bottom. This is then the end of your project. Now, a quick tip, depending on what you are casting off, let's say this is the back or the front of a sweater, I usually, when I am at the end of my cast off right here, I'm going to show you what it looks like when we get there, but I will definitely leave a tail a little longer than this, because you can use it to seam up your project later without having to you know, use new yarn and having to attach it and things like that. So it definitely makes it a lot easier just to leave a little bit of a longer tail when you're done. Okay, let me do one really slow for you, and then I'm going to finish this row to show you what the end looks like. All right, let's finish this up. Last 2, and now we're at the last one. So we knit this, and then we pull the last stitch over just the same, and then all you do, it's very simple, continue pulling this through. Oh, I have a little bit of a tangle here, no problem. Okay, once again, just continue pulling it, and then we're going to cut it and continue pulling it through. So literally all the way through. And then you can tighten it a bit. And then here is your tail that you can use when you need to seam up pieces later on. And of course, we're going to make a video about seaming at some other time. But here you go. You've got a really nice, neat edge right here on your project. All right, friend, I hope that was super helpful to you to learn how to finish your project, to cast it off. In a later video, we're also going to talk about how we're going to weave in the seams or the tails that you have left after you completed your project, or how you can actually start seaming things together, pieces together, and we're going to talk about that in a future video. So I hope you enjoyed. Please share with your friends who also want to learn how to knit or need a refresher like I did when I picked up knitting after about 20 years, right when the pandemic happened. So there's no reason not to refresh your memory and get back into knitting. All right, happy knitting, friend.